Hello students, let us start our session of chapter number 10, light, reflection and refraction. Here around us many objects are there which is visible to us. We can see that objects while the brightness is available around us. But in the darkness, that particular object is not visible even though it is available at the same place. Why it is possible? Only during the day, during the sunlight, during the brightness of the light, that object is visible because the light while falling onto the object. So that object from that light signal is coming back, which is captured by our eye, and then it will be visible to us. So here that object will reflect that particular light signal which is falling onto our eye, and that object would be visible. If instead of that, if any transparent object, any medium, any glass or mirror would be there, then light signal can transmit further through that particular transparent medium. So here here we can say that number of wonderful phenomena is present around us, with which that light signal which generate the image by that mirror, stars, beautiful colors of the rainbow, bending of the lights, all such things, it is visible to us. That is due to the properties of that light. And these properties of that light we are going to study in this particular chapter. We can observe common that optical phenomena around us, and we can see that light traveling in a straight line. Because its speed is very much high, that we cannot see its variations largely, and that's why light always visible to us and it takes straight path, straight line propagation path. So here the first phenomena of light, that is a reflection of light. Here if we take that polished surface just like a mirror, so for that mirror property we have that one side that is a transparent and another side which is a non-transparent is there. So with that mirror, while the light signal is falling over it, then that light signal is coming back in the same medium. It means the reflection takes place. While we are saying that reflection, it means from the surface, while that light is coming incident from the medium and after coincide with the surface, that light signal is going back in the same medium. So here the incident light and moving backward path for both the wave signal, if medium remains same, then reflection takes place. So for the reflection, two important laws that we need to focus, by which angle the signal will incident onto the surface by the same angle of the normal component of that incident point. We are measuring incident angle. Means onto the surface, while the light is falling over it, it will incident onto the single point. On that point, we are taking a normal, and with respect to normal, incident light makes some angle. Now, while that signal is going back, so with that normal, whatever the angle it will generate, that is known as a reflection angle. So here, angle of incidence and angle of reflection should be same. At that time, total internal reflection in the same medium takes place. And second condition is that the incident ray, the normal of that mirror, at the point of incidence and reflected ray, all components lie in the same plane. So here these laws of reflection are applicable of all the types of reflective surfaces, even though that transparent medium would be with the spherical surfaces. So what are the properties of the image which will be generated by plane mirror? So here, while the image is formed by a plane mirror is always virtual and erect. It means that image will be generated at other side of the object, and erect, it means in the same direction, means from the reference line. If the object is available above the reference line, then image also will be generated above the reference line. So here we can say that the orientation of the image is same and it will be generated at other side of the mirror, means virtual and erect. The size of the image, that is equal to the size of the object. An image formed is far behind the mirror as the object is in front of it. An image is laterally inverted. It is laterally inverted. Now, the spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors, it means the shape of the mirror is with the curvature. That curved shape would be there. This curved part, this curved shape, either at inward side or outward side. So based on that, the spherical mirror whose reflecting surface is curved inward side. So here this faces towards the center of the sphere is called as concave mirror, as you can see in the diagram A. And a spherical mirror whose reflective surface is curved at outward side is known as convex mirror, as you can see in the diagram B. Now here we need to understand its important terms regarding these spherical surfaces. So here the center of that reflecting surface of a spherical mirror is a point. That center point of that spherical surface is known as a pole, which is denoted as a P for concave and convex mirror both, as you can see in the diagram point P. It is lying onto the surface of mirror. Next, the reflecting surface of that spherical mirror forms different parts of the spheres, and this sphere has a particular center. That center point of that spherical surface, while we draw that circular path, that center is known as center of curvature. It is denoted as a C, as you can see in the diagram A and B both. This center of curvature is not a part of mirror. It is always lying outside of its reflecting surface. This center of curvature of a concave mirror lies in front of it, and for the convex mirror it is behind that mirror. Means point C for the concave mirror, that is in front of transparent medium, and for the convex mirror that point C that is lying other side of that transparent medium, means it is towards the non-transparent medium. Next, the radius of that spherical surface, which is a reflecting surface of a spherical mirror that forms the particular part of radius of curvature, it is denoted as a C. It is denoted as a R. This radius of curvature, we can say that the distance or the straight line draw between point C, the center of curvature, and point P, that is a pole. So here basically PC can give us a radius of curvature. Now next, the straight line, if passing through that pole and center of curvature of a spherical mirror, and if we draw it as a long straight line which is passing through P and C, and if it is a line at other side also, that straight line which is denoted as principal axis. This principal axis is normal to the mirror at its pole, which we can say that reference axis, reference line. Right. So here you can do one activity by using the concave mirror. That hold that concave mirror in your hand and direct its a reflecting surface towards the sun. Direct the light reflected by the mirror onto the sheet of paper and held it close to the mirror. Move that sheet of paper back and forth and arrange it while that brightest sunlight is falling onto the paper, so spot of light will be visible. So hold that mirror and paper in the same orientation for a longer time duration. So you will observe that after some time that piece of paper gets heated, and if you still continue to keep in the same orientation, then it will burn. So it defines that concentration of light will be available which ignites that piece of paper. Right. Now, here in diagram A, the number of rays, as you can see, which is parallel to the principal axis, which is falling onto the concave mirror in diagram A. And if we observe its a reflected ray, then all these parallel lines of principal axis, which is denoted as incident light, which is passing through the object AB, then all that reflected rays will intersect at particular one point on that principal axis. That point where that all reflected ray will meet, it is known as focus point of the concave mirror, which is denoted as F. Same way for diagram B for the convex mirror. Same way that parallel incident lines are passing onto the spherical surface. Then reflected rays, it appears like it's supposed to meet onto one point, and from that point that all rays will reflected back from the spherical surface, and that point again lies on principal axis, which is known as focus point of convex mirror, which is denoted as point F. So here the distance between the pole and the focus point of spherical surface, it is known as focal length. So PF, which is denoted as a focal length, that focal length is denoted as small letter of F. So here spherical surface of a spherical mirror is by and large spherical surface, that is a circular outline. So diameter of that spherical surface of that mirror, which is denoted as aperture. So here aperture, it is defined as MN. So and here we are assuming that this aperture MN, that is a smaller than radius of curvature. So now here we can see that R, that is a radius of curvature, that is a PC, and focal length, that is a small f. So focal length is half of the radius of curvature, that f equal to r by 2, or we can say that r equal to twice f. Now Next is representation of images formed by spherical mirrors using ray diagram. So here you can see that a ray, if it is parallel to the principal axis, then after reflection it will pass through the focus point of concave mirror. So here it will appear to diverge from the principal focus point for the convex mirror. So here diagram A and B, in which you can see that incident light is parallel to the principal axis, then reflected ray is passing through the focal point. So here for the concave mirror it will pass through the point F, it will converge, and for the convex mirror it will diverge, that passing through the focal point. Next, here this incident light, if passing through the focus point of concave mirror, or it is directed towards the focus point of convex mirror, as in diagram A for the concave mirror and B it defines for the convex mirror, that incident light is passing through the focus point, then reflected ray will be parallel to the principal axis. Next, here if the incident ray will pass through the center of curvature of concave mirror or center of curvature of convex mirror, then after reflection it will retrace, it will take the same reflected path, it is reflected back with the same direction. So here light rays come back along the same path as the incident rays falling onto the mirror with the normal component of reflecting surface. Next, a ray of incident, if it is obliquely to principal axis, that is passing towards the point P for the concave mirror or for the convex mirror, as it will incident on point P by the angle of incident, angle I, then from the same point P it is reflected, as it follows the law of refraction, and a reflected angle R is equal to the incident angle I. So here all four cases, as we have observed how the image formation will take place by this spherical mirror. Clear? Here we are going to end this session. Hope you understood. Thank you.